So being a mom, it's hard. Being a mom with postpartum anxiety, depression is even harder. And I am joined today by Amanda Gremillion. You are a published author.
I am. I'm really excited. Very recently I republished a book that I originally published it in 2012. And I was still kind of recovering at that point, wasn't really ready to handle all of that quite yet. I got a little overwhelmed, I think. So I decided to take a break, focus on my family and work and everything, and decided recently, partially thanks to my daughter, who's 12 now. She's been my biggest fan, and when she found out about it, she encouraged me to work on it again. So I had it professionally edited and republished it recently, and I'm really excited about it.
Tell us the name of your book.
It is Just Buy Her a Dress and She'll Be Fine, my postpartum OCD, anxiety, and depression story.
So you have just recently republished this, so this is very exciting, I know, but it details a very probably harrowing time in your life. Can you give us a little quick background on what was going on during that time?
Sure. I didn't actually even get help until my daughter was 2 years old.
Wow.
And that was about 10 years ago. My husband actually left me. We went through a very hard time. We worked things out since then, or I like to think our marriage is stronger than ever now from it. But when that happened, I finally kind of started showing symptoms enough that everybody realized what was wrong with me. I finally got some help. I went to the doctor, went to therapy for a little while, started going back to First Baptist of Alabaster, got into a really great Sunday school class. My husband eventually went with me that we loved.
Good.
Of newly married couples, and so that helped a lot as well. And started trying to exercise, just get more rest, take better care of myself, more work-life balance, and just a lot of things to try to, get healthy again. And as I got better, I noticed positive changes in my daughter as well. We just, kind of got better over time. It took a while. It took a while to get there, so it took a while to get back, to normal. So, or a new normal, I like to call it.
Yes, a new normal. I like what you said though about how you could no longer hide it from everyone, because I feel like as moms, we have to feel like, from day one of having a baby, we feel like it's all on our shoulders and we need to be that perfect put together mom. That is not reality, right? Like,
oh, yes.
At all.
Super mom, I call it. You like to feel like super mom. And,
right.
And that's, I think I was trying to feel like super mom and so hard on myself and put so much pressure on myself to be perfect. And and there was a lot going on at the time too. I experienced a couple deaths in the family, was laid off from my job that I've been at for several years. And since college, actually, along with most of the company. And if you add things like that around the time you're having a child and caring for a whole nother life, and it was just the first time my husband and I had both gone through so many adult problems at one time, and kind of had to grow up a lot from it, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's such a stigma with us being super moms that we don't want to admit that something could be wrong. But admitting was the first step for you in getting help and recovering. Can you talk to us a little bit about that recovery?
Yeah, sure. Like you said, at first you feel kind of shameful. You're embarrassed. But whenever everything happened with my husband and I was just so devastated. I couldn't hide it anymore, like we talked about. And I couldn't sleep at night, so I started journaling, kind of writing things down, trying to figure out what happened, how did I get here, what's wrong, and, how did this happen in my marriage, what's going on. And it really helped me to figure out what was going on. It helped me to sleep better at night.
Yeah.
I eventually started blogging from these journals, and I started getting private messages from so many women that I knew, and even ones I didn't know, saying, "Thank you for writing about this. It is so good to know that I'm not alone." And that made me feel so good. It made me feel good too to know I wasn't alone. I'm like, I had no idea this many people went through this. I had people in my family tell me, even older women in my family, like, aunts and different relatives, saying they think they went through it and didn't even realize it because it wasn't, handled the same back then. It's starting to be handled a lot better, where people recognize it and get treatment. And that's a really great thing.
You talked about your Sunday school class at First Baptist with your husband. You're talking about these other people that are reaching out. We are made for community. We are made to be alongside each other, help, support, motivate, and encourage each other. And that is so important. So I love that you've written this book. So I kind of want to segue into the book itself. I think it would be so helpful for so many. Even if you haven't struggled with that, reading it to see the perspective of someone that is, so that we can all help each other. So tell me about the book. Where can we find it? Where can we buy it? Okay. All of it.
The book is actually on Amazon right now in Kindle form and paperback form. And before the end of this month and before the end of July, it should be available as an audiobook as well. So I'm excited about that.
Yes.
Soon. So I will post about that on my website. You can find all the information. It's just byheraddress.com. That has links to my Twitter page, my Facebook page, my blogs on it. I also write blogs for the Mighty mental health website that has over 1 million followers. And it has a link to my profile there and some of my stories that have been published by them. And just you can find symptoms of postpartum depression, risk factors or really any postpartum mood disorders. A lot of information on there about it that's really helpful. And but the book itself, like you said, it's not just for people that have gone through this. I want people to realize that so many people go through this. It could be your mother, your sister, your wife, and you just have no idea. People do not realize how common it is and how many people hide it and don't talk about it. And I actually wrote the book in a somewhat humorous way to make it easier to read. And I think it's a pretty short, easy read as well if you're really busy and you're like, I don't have time, or get the audiobook.
Right. But it's a heavy topic.
Yes.
And so I do love that you inject some humor in it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's humor in the title a little bit. Just buy her a dress, she'll be fine. Clearly not gonna work, right?
Well, and that's from one of my chapter names, and that was from someone that I know actually saying one time that they bought someone a dress when they first had a baby so they wouldn't get postpartum depression. And I was like, wow, if it was only that simple. Right.
Well, I am so excited to read it myself. I really encourage you guys, go on Amanda's, you've got social media, you've got a Facebook page.
I have a Facebook page, a Twitter page. I have an author page on Amazon that just shows where you can buy all my books and the links to those. And I have a profile on the Mighty mental health website.
And then your website.
And my website has the links to all of that, just byheraddress.com.
Well, I'm so excited to see where this takes you. I think this is only the beginning. I'm so thankful for you for sharing your story. If you are feeling these symptoms, if you know someone who is, don't be afraid to reach out for help. Probably, more than likely, the person you're reaching out to completely understands. Let's break that stigma and be together, be community together, right?
I agree, and thank you so much for the opportunity to talk with you. I
really enjoyed it. We are very happy to have you here. Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you.